Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of NASCAR '07 here tonight as we have another Craftsman Truck Series race 12 of 25 at the Kansas Speedway for the running of the O'Reilly Auto Parts 250. 250 miles, 167 laps scheduled distance in this one. Coming in as the points leader with our driver here, Ted Musgrave, on this season. It's been a minute since we've been to victory lane in the Truck Series. 5 races to be exact. Fourth at Dover since then, 14th at Texas, 21st at Michigan, 2nd at Milwaukee on pit strategy. Only led 4 laps in that race. In fact, if you add up the total laps led in the last 4 races since our last win, we have only led 15 laps combined in the last 4 races. So we've been struggling for speed here over the last several races. Qualified in the 5th place position here today. I didn't see where I was in practice. I forgot to look, to be completely honest. I was just so focused on just trying to get my truck dialed in for the handling side of things. Didn't make an adjustment from practice into qualifying. It was an edgier setup. I wanted to go for speed because we've been lacking in the speed side of things. So going to bank on this being a 250-mile race, a short race. So hopefully the tires don't fall off of it too badly. I'm usually not this aggressive with the setup, but we've been just slow on the 1.5-mile tracks on this game, and we've had a lot recently, which is part of the struggle over the last several races. The intermediate tracks with this Truck Series season, we're lacking. We haven't won on an intermediate track yet. We have 2 short track wins and a road course win in the Truck Series. Our intermediate track finishes: California 4th, 2nd at Atlanta. That's as good as it gets, because after that, 2nd at Charlotte, which also wasn't bad, but I only led. Let me go back through that again. So at California, we finished 4th, led 1 lap. Finished 2nd at Atlanta, led 5 laps. 2nd at Charlotte, led 2 laps. Texas, 14th, led 2 laps. Michigan led 0 laps, finished 21st. And then at Milwaukee, led 4 laps, finished 2nd. So if you're seeing a trend there, intermediate tracks have not been good for the Truck Series. We're barely leading any laps. Usually when I'm leading laps, it's on pit strategy, whether that would be staying out under a caution to leapfrog the field to get the 5 bonus points and try to get track position if I'm running mid-pack, or going fuel only like we did at Milwaukee. Went fuel only, jumped from literally 15th to 3rd. Was able to race my way into 2nd, and we pretty much ran 2nd the rest of the race. I led 4 laps during green flag pit stops. Or no, it wasn't even green flag stops. The leader at the time, Bo Phillips, and the eventual winner of the race, got caught up behind a lap truck that was blowing an engine in the middle of the corner. We went from 5 seconds off the lead to the lead, and then he passed us within 4 laps, so we never saw him again. So luckily for that reason, I was able to get 5 bonus points in the last race. Michigan, I didn't lead any laps, didn't even sniff the top 5. As far as Texas goes, the only 2 laps I led there is because I stayed out of the pits, led 2 laps under caution, didn't lead a green flag lap, so both those laps under yellow. California, that 1 lap I led was on pit strategy, where I stayed out 1 lap longer than the rest of the field during one of the sets of stops, because I knew I wasn't going to have anything that could have won the race. It was the only way I was going to lead a lap. Atlanta, 5 laps led, kind of a similar circumstance there, stayed out a little longer than the rest of the field, so we'll see what we can do here. The good news is we have qualified very well. One of my better qualifying efforts so far on the intermediate tracks this season. Sometimes I don't qualify, sometimes I do, but of the times I've qualified, this has been the best. So we'll see what we've got. I mean, it's fast enough to finish top 5, considering I qualified there. I don't know what we're going to have for the race win. I was over 1/10 of a second off the pole time, so I'll dig for what I've got. I don't want to be any more aggressive with the setup than what I've been to try to get speed out of it, because, again, I am lacking handling. So we're going to have to do our best to try to keep it off the other trucks. It's not going to be easy, and, again, I have to hope the tires don't fall off of it, which they very well could. Green flag is in the air. This should be a 2-stop race today, with this being a 250-miler. And there were wrecks with AI trucks trying to pit under, obviously, green flag conditions in practice. So we'll keep an eye on that throughout the race today. I feel like we're going to get cautions in the middle of green flag stops, so the longer we can go on a fuel run, the better. Kind of a slow start for Ted Musgrave, though, right out of the gate. Going to lose 3 positions on the opening lap of the race. Lost 4 initially, got 1 back in turns 3 and 4. And the first lap of the race is led by Scott Legacy Jr. in the 04 truck. David Reagan under his teammate, Eric Darnell. Timothy Peters was up on the outside as well. Right back into 6 goes Musgrave. Trying to get to the inside of David Reagan, but look at how much Reagan crowds Musgrave. Even a little contact. Crowded us a little too much. You can see how much it wiggles in the tri-oval. That's how unsteady the truck is. I was really trying to go for top end speed. Ron Hornaday in the lead after starting, what was that, second or fourth? He was on the outside lane. And Legacy led the first lap, no longer in the lead. Under Tingen in the 126. Both the 04 and the 9 get by Tingen. Chris Cross back at Ford, trying to get underneath Legacy. Big dive into turn 1. Slide job up the hill, clear for third. Musgrave showing a little bit of speed here today. And Hornaday about to lose the lead off turn 4. Musgrave follows into second. And clear. Back up the corner. I want to see if we can just kind of get away from the field here. I really got to play this smart. You know, even if I don't lead a lot of laps, at least I got track position this time. I usually don't on these intermediate tracks. I want to win a mile and a half so bad just because we haven't been able to on this Truck Series season. I want to win a race so bad. I mean, I know it's only been 5 races since the last win, but Bo Phillips has won 3 races of the last 5, and all of a sudden he has 5 wins now in the year, and we are still at 3. We lead in points, which is obviously, you know, better. Honestly, he'd be leading in points if he didn't miss Michigan. He missed the Michigan race. We finished 21st, and as a result of him not getting any points in that race, he would have gotten 34, or no, like 50-something. 34, I keep saying that. That's a full cup race if you were to finish last. So yeah, he would have got like 50-something points just for starting the race. If he would have ended up finishing well, where most of his wins, 4 of his 5 have come on intermediate tracks on the season, he'd be like right there towards that top of the leaderboard. Musgrave trying to conserve his tires. Through the center of the corners. The more laps I ran in practice, obviously the more comfortable I've been. I'm glad I was able to do that for the start of the race, because I don't know if I would have been able to get through that traffic, honestly, on the start, even though it wasn't super hectic. I just don't think I would have gotten through it very cleanly if I didn't practice, especially if I would have started at the tail. I wouldn't have even had a setup like this, honestly, knowing that. Can't really change much from what I initially went into practice, just because there is speed in the truck. Wade, Ryan Berwick, by the way, thanks for tuning into the stream. Slowly a 2-truck breakaway. I was wondering who this is. I didn't recognize the driver, Jay Thomas. I don't think he's even in the top 10 in points, but he's leading at Kansas. Good for him. Never heard of him. Fantasy driver, of course. Musgrave is the only non-fantasy driver to win a race this season. It's been the season of the fantasy drivers. We have not had a season like this across any series in the previous NASCAR video games. Even on NASCAR 07, our first playthrough all the way through. Like, here and there, you'll see, like, an upset win from a fantasy driver every once in a while. This Truck Series season, it's literally been all fantasy drivers. It's insane. Like, I've never seen this before. Even, like, playing the games growing up as a kid, I felt like the fantasy drivers never won. Here we are with Jay Thomas leading a bunch of laps early. Painting rocks. I feel like if you would have, like, out of the pure randomness asked me, like, hey, Keegan, guess what I'm doing? I would have never guessed that. I felt like that wouldn't have even been a thought. John Fleming, thanks for tuning in also. NASCAR Penske Cup Series Racing, thanks for tuning in. Got a fast truck today? Yeah, I'd say so. I'm trying to take care of the tires for the long run, at least for this first run. That's why I'm just kind of sitting in second. I don't want to really battle for this too hard, especially if I can't pull away and risk getting aero loose, because this truck is edgy. So just kind of taking it easy, riding in line behind the leader. Again, just trying to be smart. We haven't won one of these mile-and-a-half tracks yet. We usually aren't even in this position early in the race either, so doing what we can. Oh, I was looking at the chat at the wrong time there. Whoops. I don't know what the visuals seem like to you guys, but it feels like looking at this Kansas Speedway on this game, why does it feel like it's so narrow? It seems way more narrow than it is nowadays. I don't really remember them reconfiguring this track much outside of repaving it when they did the early 2010s. But I don't remember them, adding or taking away more banking. What do I think of playoff eliminations? So going into the round, I had Burton eliminated. Oh, geez, I might actually get this wrong. I don't want to give you who I had eliminated in the first round because I feel like I'm going to mess it up. I'd have to go on to NASCAR.com and look because I did one of those playoff brackets. Burton was definitely out in the first round. I think I had Cindric and Briscoe out too. And maybe Suarez. I might have had Keselowski out. I feel like I might have had Briscoe in and Suarez out. Or, Briscoe in and Keselowski out. Or Suarez in and Keselowski out. I feel like I had one of those two in for Brad. And the only reason I had Brad out is because he's so bad at road courses, as we just saw this last weekend. I said he can go out there and win Atlanta, but if he doesn't, I felt like he was in trouble, and that seems about what it is. Taking it easy, nobody behind me. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you just gotta work harder, or work smarter, not harder. Might as well try to make a friend while we're at it. Share draft with him. I would imagine this is saving fuel. Obviously not pushing, 100% here. I don't think that's going to matter much because I think it's a pretty straightforward two-stop race, but I guess we'll see. what the fuel window is going to look like. We're really not going to know for sure until we get to the halfway mark on this tank of gas here to start the race. Haven't had a caution-free 100% race across all 3 series yet. Honestly, if you combine the races together, we've ran more than a full season's worth. So not having a full race go caution-free, you'd have to imagine we're going to get a yellow at some point, which could also alter the strategy a bit. See, that's the problem, not really knowing the fuel run. I'm not going to run a full fuel run in practice ever. Like, I'm not going to practice for like over a half hour. I don't have that kind of time. I'm already taking a couple hours out of my day doing a full race as it is. I'm not going to take an extra half hour to practice. I'll take like 10, 15 laps at the most, depending on the racetrack. If it's like a road course, I'll take like 5 to 10. Scrape the wall. I got a little tight. I got super close to him. In line. Lost some ground. Don't want to damage it too much. Second time I've scraped the wall now. I didn't see who that was blowing up on the inside of the racetrack, but a couple laps ago we just passed somebody that was blowing an engine through turns 1 and 2. They've made it to pit road. We continue to stay green. It's at 31.448 that last lap, fastest of the race. I think going into Bristol this weekend, though, I don't know. The Toyotas, if they're just as quick at Bristol as they were earlier this year, because even though Ty Gibbs, you know, he's a lot younger than a lot of the guys trying to catch him, a lot of those veterans, Keselowski, Truex, Hamlin, and they're all good at Bristol. Don't forget, Ty Gibbs won the first 2 stages at Bristol. He had just as fast of a car as Hamlin. The difference was, he didn't save his tires as well. If he goes out there and wins the first 2 stages and gives himself a 20-point buffer into the final stage, all he's got to do is finish top 15 and he's good to go, which he could do. Because he'll probably leapfrog somebody that's around him in points that's ahead of him, even if a Hamlin or a, Truex or a Keselowski were to win this weekend. So I personally think Gibbs is going to make it in. So then you just kind of look at the guys that are just above the cutoff line in front of him. Chase Briscoe. I'd have to go back to see how he did at Bristol earlier this year, but I don't remember him setting the world on fire. From what I remember, I feel like a lot of the dirt guys and or the veterans of the Cup Series were the ones that were higher up in the finishing order. I remember Penske having an off day, but Logano's already in the next round. Blaney's plus 29. I don't think he's going to give up that many points. And Cindric's like plus 40-something. I really don't think he's going to give up that many points either. But they were pretty bad at Bristol, not only this year, but they were bad last spring, which was why Logano got eliminated in the round of 16 last year, because he ran like 30th the whole day. Now, unless they do something that bad, I think Blaney's fine. Darlington Stripe at Kansas, yeah. Aerodynamically, we're still fine, though. And Jay Thomas and Ted Musgrave with a little 2-truck breakaway. Thomas obviously hasn't won yet this year. I mentioned already he's not even in the top 10 in the points standings, so he's definitely doing okay this season. Michael Turner, thanks for tuning in. All 4 Hendrick drivers should advance. I would think so. Yeah, I mean, Bowman had a really good day there earlier this year, and I remember Larson having problems early and still came back to have a good finish. I think he still ended up top 5, didn't he? Even after he spun earlier in the race. Pushing up the track. Ah, should have lifted. A little too aggressive in that drive through the corner. Big run off turn 4. To the lead. Lose the bottom of the racetrack, though, off turn 4. And that lap at the line, we did lead. It's 5 bonus points. We did lead our first lap. It was close, but we got it. That is a lap led for Ted Musgrave. Well, there we go. I got 5 bonus points just in case something crazy happens. Just had a big run on him. Center of turns 3 and 4. Got to the inside and made the pass. And now he's blocking. It was a big block on the front stretch, and we'll give him that for right now. Obviously, if we were much later in the race, I definitely wouldn't have backed out of the gas, but going to cut him a little bit of slack early. Gotta be careful clipping that apron like that when that happened. Another big run. Bottom of the racetrack again. Great turn off. Into turns 3 and 4. Big time slide job there by Musgrave and clear. And a block of his own. Now it's getting a little racy. I think Hamlin gets in. See Briscoe out. Yeah. One guy higher up that crashes. I'd have to get the point standings back up. See like some of those other guys who are like barely above the cut line. I have a feeling it would probably be somebody that's around like 8th on back that misses it. So you get further up, and there's just so many, like, even if they have a bad day, there's so many drivers between themselves and the cut line that if just one of them has a bad day behind them, then they're all automatically going to be in front of them. It's different when we get down into the last round. something of that nature, then it gets to be a little bit different. Some slight contact there. So lap 41. We hit the halfway mark on fuel. I mean, it's barely going to be two-stopper, really. 31.39 won that last lap, fastest lap of the race for Ted Musgrave. It's like Ron Hornaday from third place starting to catch up just a bit. See if Musgrave can maybe put some distance on Thomas here. How'd I feel about Cleveland winning last night? I know they came in. I mean, them and Detroit came in clutch. I honestly, I wasn't really like watching the Cleveland game. I was keeping an eye on the score, but I didn't know like visually what was going on, other than just looking at the box score like every half inning to an inning with the Tigers game going on. So top of the third, Tigers straight to the bases loaded. And I'm like, man, we didn't get a run there. That's going to hurt because it's probably going to be a close game. Bottom of the next inning, grand slam, Bobby Witt Jr. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, that's why we needed to get a couple runs there. And then we ended up, we got one run back, I think, the next inning. And we gave one up again. We were down 5-1. And then, three in the fifth, three in the sixth, and 1-7-6. But anyway, so after the Tigers went up 7-6, then I checked the Cleveland game because I stopped checking it for a couple innings there. It was 3-0, and then I think I saw it was 3-1. I don't remember what inning it was, but it was 3-1, and Cleveland was still down. Tigers went on that spurt. They scored 3 in the fifth, 3 in the sixth, and then after the sixth inning was over, the bottom of the sixth, I saw the Cleveland score. I'm like, oh, Cleveland won 4-3. I'm like, no way. Oh, look at Ryan Hornaday getting up here. It's like he's going to take the lead. Two up in the front, battled for a little bit. Oh, that is tight. Musgrave gets squeezed into the wall by that second place truck. Holds on to second. Over Thomas. And now Hornaday's out in front. Maybe he's got a little bit better long run truck than these two. He just kind of caught us out of nowhere. First lap's Hornaday's led today. Actually, no, he led a few at the very beginning. Have to win tonight to have a chance? Well, I mean, they don't have to win tonight to have a chance. There's still 11 games left, but I don't see, as bad as Minnesota's been playing the last few weeks, I don't see them taking more than 2 games against Cleveland. There's no way they win 3 of these last 3 games. There's no way. So honestly, if we just win one of these next 2 games against KC, honestly, the Scooble game, like we lose tonight, I'm not worried at all. Because we could lose tonight and Minnesota loses tonight. And I think we're still okay as long as the Yanks end up beating the Mariners too. But I also don't see the Mariners taking 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. So I think we're in an okay spot for this series at least. I look at it as if Detroit takes 3 out of the next 5, so the full 3-game slate against the O's and the next 2 against the Royals, we win 3 out of 5. I don't see Minnesota winning more than 2 games in their next 6, honestly. And if that happens, then we're tied going into the final 6 games of the year, and we play below 500 teams the last 6 games. I really like our chances then. So, and even if Minnesota wins, 3, they go 3-3 in their next 6 because they have a game in hand, then we're still only 1 game back going into the last 6 games, which is what I wanted to be 2 weeks ago anyway because of the schedule we have. Like, we'll have the schedule advantage at that point. So I have full faith in this Tigers team now. You would ask me that a month ago, I would have said you're crazy if you thought we would even have a chance at the playoffs. But now I'm thinking, honestly, we're in the driver's seat. I usually like to call things down the middle. You know, I'm not like a huge homer when it comes to my teams. Try to think realistically, we just have the schedule advantage. Like, we literally play the White. We're within 1 game of Minnesota. I would like to think we could sweep Chicago. And even if we don't, we're going to at least take 2 out of 3, and then you just hope that Minnesota, you know, loses 2 out of 3, or, you know, even if they lose 1 at that point, well, I guess they would have the tiebreaker, but anyway, we'd still have a legitimate chance at that point if it really came down to that. Honestly, as hot as we're playing right now, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a couple game lead going into that Chicago series at the end of the year anyway. Like, even last night when we should have lost, the Royals have their ace on the mound, probably the second best pitcher in the AL behind Skubal, and we still broke him. Like, that's just how red hot the Tigers are right now. Like, they just can't lose. They've been a late inning team all year. Like, even very early in the season when we started off hot before we tapered off and were basically 500 for a lot of the, you know, second third of the season. You know, below 500 or right around 500 for the second third of the year. That first third of the year, a lot of the runs we were scoring were in the late innings. That's been the case the entire, since the Dodger series, right before the All-Star break, too. It seems like we'll be either tied late in the game and we'll take the lead, or we'll be down a couple runs and we'll still come back and win it like we did last night. They don't hit the starting pitching very well, but they get into the relief pitching and they go to town. I don't know why that is, but like, the Tigers have to have the most runs scored this year from the 6th inning on. Like, I would not be shocked. I've been keeping track of, like, their games pretty much all season. And at least, like, if I'm missing them, I'm looking at the box score the next day or end of the night or whatever. And I feel like I see a 3 or 4 run 6th, 7th, 8th inning like a couple times a week. Twins at Baltimore. Yeah, exactly. Like, the O's could, the way the Twins are playing right now, the O's should take 2 out of 3 in that series. At the very least. Minnesota's just playing bad. And the Royals are playing mediocre. And that's why we're catching both of them. But the Twins are just playing bad. Like, they don't look like a playoff team right now. Detroit looks like a playoff team over the last month, and Minnesota's just collapsed. I mean, they had, what, like a 5.5 or 6 game advantage over the first team out of the wild card just a couple weeks ago. Because I think it was the Tigers and the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox are still ahead of us, but they were like 5.5 back. And literally, they've given up like 4.5, 5 games nearly to the cut line just in the last couple weeks. I think they've only won 3 of their last 10. And it might even be a worse record than that in the month of September. Percentage-wise, like they're just collapsing at the wrong time. I don't know if they're injured or not. I don't know too much about the Twins, but they're just not winning. And they're losing to bad teams, too. That's the crazy thing. Like, they got swept by the Angels. And they're at the bottom of the American League. Not where the White Sox are, obviously, but towards the bottom. Like, they're just losing to bad teams. The Reds almost swept them. And the Reds didn't blow a 7th inning lead in the Sunday game. They would have swept the Twins, too, and they're below 500. And Twins are just losing to bad teams. Sorry, any Minnesota Twins watching the stream out there, but like, they are just, I mean, they're blowing it. They had an easier schedule than us, like, pretty much the entire month as a whole. Like, at points we've faced easy teams, but overall they've probably had it easier than us, and they had a 5 to 6 game lead. Like, that's why I didn't even think that it was possible. Because even if we went on a tear, we were going to need help, and their schedule was favorable. But now, this late in the year, the last week, then we finally have the favorable schedule on them, and they're collapsing, and we're hot. It just, honestly, I think the Tigers are going to get in at this point. I'd be shocked if we don't. Like I said, though, I wouldn't be shocked if we lost tonight, for instance. But as far as just getting into the playoffs, I'd be shocked if we don't make it at this point. Like, where we're at right now was what I was hoping we would be at going into the last 6, and we're already there. Like, we're there ahead of my schedule by like a week. Honestly, the rate we're going at, if we somehow sweep the Royals, we might actually catch them for the 5 seed, too. We'll only be 2 games behind them if we win these next 2. And give ourselves a little cushion. That's my baseball talk of the night. I'm passionate about my Tigers, if you couldn't tell. Yeah, Ron Hornaday leading. Oh! Hornaday getting loose. I did not touch him either. I don't know if he got arrow loose or what the case was there, but Hornaday gets loose. Hits the wall. Musgrave back to the lead again. Now the 9 trucks logging in another lap led, at least one more. Really overdrove turns 3 and 4. That was bad. That was really bad. And just like that, Hornaday's right back in the lead again. Almost 100 laps to go. Nobody's pitted yet. I wonder if anybody's going to try to stretch it to make it a 1 stop. Honestly, I probably saved more fuel than anybody else, especially that first stint of the race when we were behind Thomas the whole time. Now running in line behind Ron Hornaday, a little bit different. About to catch the first lap truck of the race as we work lap 67. On Hornaday sitting 10th in the point standings. But might be in his best position to try to win a race this season with the run he is having so far tonight. That 117 truck's way off the rest of the field. I mean, we just lapped him, and there's such a gigantic gap before we catch the next car that's last on the lead lap now. Almost makes you wonder what happened to that guy. And alternate through the different camera angles yet again. Musgrave back in the corner entry up quite a bit that time. Lap 70. Really tight. Really tight. I can't even get it off the wall. I think 2 stops is needed. Yeah, it should be needed. I'm just hoping it's needed for the rest of the field on top of myself. Another truck blowing up on the inside of the track, it appears. The Walmart truck, the 101. I don't know his name. The Walmart truck has blown an engine. That would be cleanup in aisle 2. Aisle 2 for turn 2. Bummer summer is over. Well, we still technically got a couple more days of summer. We want to get technical. I know it's supposed to be in the low 80s here, so I mean, it still feels like summer out to me. For the rest of the week, at least. Work at Walmart. I'm good. I think I'm okay working where I'm working right now. No offense to anybody that works at Walmart. I mean, I basically work in retail as it is anyway, I guess. Even though I'm on the warehouse side of things. I've worked retail before. I've been there, done that. I'm A-okay with not going back. Man, I chopped that corner off terribly. Will I go to Phoenix now? Missed out on Blaney making the championship 4 last year, though, at the same time. So, who knows? I would lean towards no, though. Well, here we are at lap 75. Starting to catch more lap traffic. Both right side tires in the yellow on the tire wear indicator. Definitely going to pit for 4 tires when we do. Nice run off the exit of turn 2. Down on the bottom lane, running behind Hornaday. Haven't noticed anybody on pit road yet. Lap 77 now. I mean, you only got to get to lap 84. Lap 83, 84 to try to make this thing on one stop. We're barely outside that window. I'm definitely not going to be able to go that far. Probably looking at only being able to go a couple more laps. Probably should have tried backing it up a little more during this run, honestly. I mean, I barely led any laps, so I couldn't really have backed it up a whole lot more. I could have really sacrificed and not led at all, but it's also kind of nice that we got the insurance policy of getting the 5 bonus points when we did. I'm going to pit at lap 79. We're going to stay out one more lap, and then we're going to pit this next time by. Hornaday staying out at least one more as well. I still haven't noticed anybody down on pit road. Now, we're only about 4 or 5 laps away from being able to make this race on one stop. We haven't used a field pass yet, so if we have to save fuel in the second run, we can do it that way. We'll have 2 of those to get through. Oh, we got smoke off turn. Oh boy, Craig Kinzer sliding. Yeah, I saw a lot of trucks sliding into the pits in practice. I forgot that was a thing. Hopefully we don't get a caution. First trucks are pitting. 4 tires and fuel. No adjustments here on the 9 truck of Ted Musgrave. Oh, what the... No, it wasn't last year. It was the year before I went to Phoenix. I was there in 22 when Logano won the championship. I wish I would have went last year with Blaney winning it. Hindsight. I really wanted to go because he was in the championship for it, because the thought of potentially seeing my favorite driver win the championship, like, in person, that would have been awesome. Oh, he had a faster pit stop than Craig Kinzer. Considering Kinzer pitted right in front of us and stayed out. Ron Hornaday still on the track. He stays out again. Anybody that makes it to lap 83, 84, they could make this race. And Hornaday's looking as if he's going to try to make this thing. And I can't believe that that's the case with the pace he has had. He's had more pace than me. We're way short. I'm probably like 8 to 10 laps short on fuel to make it to the finish. And he is a lot closer than us. I say 8 to 10 because we were 4 to 5 laps short on this run. Still got to hope we stay green here because there's a lot of trucks on the lead lap still. 31.309 that last lap. Fastest now with Hornaday still on the track. Lap 83 for Hornaday, so he might be able to make it to the end. He is at lap 83. That could be the number. Hornaday stays out another lap, and the longer he stays out, the more likely he is going to be to make this race. Now, also worth noting, we have not had a caution-free 100% race, full race, on the Truck, Busch, or Cup Series season so far. So across all 3 series, we have not seen a 100% race go caution-free. We'll see if that stat stays true as Hornaday pits at lap 84. He is right at the number. We are outside, we are outside the top 10 right now. If we don't make it on fuel to the end, we might finish outside the top 10. Even on a day where I finally had a decent truck, a fast truck on 1.5 miles, I still might not get a good finish. This is insane. Like, what do I have to do? I can't. Winning's one thing, but these last, if you count this race, 4 races that we could just have the worst luck in getting a good finish. Well, I finished second at Milwaukee, but that was literally because I went fuel only on the first of the 2 stops. And I went from 15th to 3rd, and we just kind of sat in top 3 the rest of the race after that. Man, oh man. Matthew Dorter Bruno, thanks for tuning in as well. Appreciate you being here. Big run to the bottom of the racetrack. That was an aggressive line there by Ted Musgrave. A little contact with the lap truck. Make sure we're clear. There's still trucks on the track. Like, whoever's out on the track right now, that 153, he's definitely going to make it. Like, if Hornaday was close, that guy's going to make it. It is lap 86, and he is still on the track. 87 for him. That is insane. That guy's gone 87 laps. So we are definitely not in position to win this race if it goes green to the finish. We're going to have to get a caution. Definitely makes things interesting. How much longer is that 153 truck going to go? I don't know if we're ahead of Hornaday or if there's two trucks that haven't pit yet. I feel like I see a white truck up here, and I would imagine that's probably Hornaday. So he probably did cycle ahead of us. 137 truck going to give Musgrave a lot of room into turns 3 and 4. 153 is down on pit road. This should get Musgrave to second. 31.290, that last lap, fastest of the day for the 9 truck. Haven't seen Wade Phillips anywhere in this, so that's good for us. He's been really good on these intermediates. Again, he's won 4 of the 5 races he has won have been on intermediate tracks like Kansas. It's our first and only trip to Kansas on the season for this Truck Series season, but it's kind of weird that it's at this point in the schedule, too. This was a day and age where NASCAR only ran at Kansas once, and it was in the fall, so it's weird that right in the middle of the season we're running at Kansas. You have to let me know in the chat, did IndyCar race at Kansas in 2006? Like, that's the only thing I can think of as to why we're racing Kansas right now. In the middle of the summer on the schedule. And maybe IndyCar raced at Kansas in 06 and the Truck Series was there with them that weekend. Because I know they did that with Las Vegas. Because Vegas will be right in the middle of the schedule, too. Hornaday catching lap trucks. Holding them up a bit. Musgrave continues to run him down. 2 of the lappers up near the outside. Oh, a little contact with the lap trucks there, and 3 wide at the bottom goes Musgrave to get by him. Cleared them both. Opened an easy pathway to do that. Musgrave catches Hornaday now. Time to save some gas. As I run my fastest lap of the race. 31.223. I just can't believe, I mean, he's got more pace than me. Like, he ran us down on that long run, and yet he still had more fuel. I maybe could have pushed it 1 or 2 more laps. I definitely wouldn't have made it to lap 84 like he did. I would have maybe made it to 80 or 81. We pitted at lap 79. Truck Saturday, IndyCar Sunday. Yeah, that makes sense then. See, I never really watched IndyCar much. I still kind of don't, but I know more of their schedule now than what I did when I was younger. Just because I wasn't really watching it at all when I was younger. I wish I would have when there was more oval races. Like, looking back on some of the older races I've seen, like, across YouTube and stuff. I wish I would have watched more IndyCar when I was younger. I wish they had more ovals now. The great races they've had on ovals this year, I feel like they may start leaning that way. I get the danger side of things for sure. You don't want to oversaturate it, but I feel like they can have more of an even mix. Like, I remember that COVID year, I think they only had Iowa, Texas, and that was it for ovals outside of Indy. There was three ovals. It was the Indianapolis, Texas, and Iowa, and I think Iowa was a doubleheader. Iowa, I think, is still a doubleheader if I'm not mistaken. But now they got Milwaukee, Gateway, Nashville. I want them to go back to Michigan. I will definitely go to that race, being my home track. You bet I'd be there. David Land was here. He'll explain. Yeah, this is true. July 2nd of 06. Yeah, I figured it was middle of summer. So that's what it seemed like, considering we're right in the middle of our season. Race 12 and 25. Musgrave just still sitting behind Hornaday. Todd Bodine not that much further up ahead. We'll swap to Bodine at the line this time by. Try to get him a little bit further out ahead as we'll take our field pass. Maybe. Bodine up on the outside of the racetrack. Musgrave down on the bottom. We got a lift. I don't think Musgrave is going to give Bodine a lot of room there as he clears. 24th is where Todd Bodine sits. Now the first truck one lap down. Getting close to lap 100. Big run into turn 1 for the 30. Bodine trying to get his lap back underneath the 33 of Hornaday. The Hornaday blocks. Bodine there on the 30 truck again. Not a lot of room. Pinned to that white line on the inside as Hornaday still stays up high. Hornaday side drafts Bodine. Bodine trying to get away from it. And Todd Bodine clear to get back on the lead lap temporarily. If a caution came out right there, that would be perfect for Todd Bodine. He accelerates by off turn 4. How far back Musgrave was able to save just a little bit there. Those last few laps. Started closing in on some of those lap trucks a little bit further up ahead as well. I don't think IndyCar races in Japan anymore. I don't think they've raced there in a while. Bodine a lap down again. I'm buying my time. We need to save fuel. So I'm kind of intentionally not passing the 33. If I tried, I could probably get around him. We're in fuel conservation mode. Otherwise, we're not even going to get a top 10 if we can't make it. There's going to be a lot of trucks that can make it. Very few are going to have to pit a second time. Mark DeMars, thanks for tuning in. Boy, lap truck up against the wall. I didn't think I was going to get enough turn. Tried to keep it away from him. I mean, our lap times are slowing up a little bit running behind Hornaday. We're running 31.4s. Earlier, we were running 31.2s. It's not saving much, but it is saving. The only hope of saving that much is this fuel pass or field pass that I just did, like right there, because 4 laps like that, I don't know. I mean, you got a point. Bodine gets blocked again. This time by the 107 truck. Yeah. Maybe we are being just a little too conservative. Got faith that I could save and make it. We'll know when we get to the halfway mark on fuel about where we're at on this run. We pitted lap 79. So from that point to where we hit halfway is about what we can expect to try to make it for fuel purposes. So Musgrave gets to the bottom, gets underneath Hornaday, going to lead that lap. That's an official lead change. Haven't cleared yet. Musgrave going for it again into turns 1 and 2. Oh, overdrove the corner. Slides. Contact. Pushed it a little too hard. And ground is lost. And a lap truck going to break in between the top two. That was a little too aggressive. I got to find that fine line of not going hard enough and going too hard, because that was too hard. I was trying to commit to clear from clearly not being clear. Clearing the lap truck off turn 2. Biggest lead possible, splash and go. Yeah, that would probably have to be the play. Half the field a lap down. 113 laps, caution free to start. I mean, we could still get a caution. We got plenty of time for there to be a yellow, although we are quickly running out of time at the same time to get a yellow, but the again, that stat line, we haven't had a caution-free 100% race. And I mention it a lot because it happens a lot on these seasons. Again, across all 3 series, we tend to get yellows more later in the race than what we do earlier in the race. We'll go ridiculously long caution-free, and then the last 20 to 30 laps, we'll get a yellow. I mean, look back at Michigan, for instance. Michigan, the only caution we had 2 races ago was with 2 laps left in the race. And there's no cautions on the final lap, so it was literally the last lap we could have gotten a yellow, and we got a yellow. And a green, white checker restart then followed. Now, at that point, I'd already be on pit road. That'd be a little too late. But, you know, just saying that. So it happened. Trying to get that run on Hornaday. I'm not really able to get there yet. He's not giving up a lot of room on the bottom of the racetrack, and I don't want to run into him again. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to pray for a caution. I don't think we're going to make it. Hornaday blocking for his life right now. I mean, he might not make it, but I would assume he can. it looked like we were like 12th place right at the halfway mark. And we had trucks pitting coming to halfway at that time. So, I mean, I would assume that we're going to finish top 15 no matter what. But there's probably a dozen trucks, Hornaday included, that look as if they can make this thing to the finish. We got 50 laps to go this time by. Almost 2 minutes a lap. Or a minute every 2 laps, I mean. Rough guesstimate. We're only about 25 minutes away from the finish. Big block. Hornaday not clear. Now I'm shoving. Dirty air right behind him. Hornaday over-aggressive with the block. I was over-aggressive with the slide job, so to be fair, we're kind of even now. We're 1-to-1 on contact with one another. I caused the first bit of contact, and he caused that one. Look at this. Like, how am I, how am I supposed to do this? We had a run on him that time. He's going to crowd us all the way to that white line nearly every time. All right, here we go. Another run. Another slight bump draft going off into turn 1 again. Hornaday trying to keep the track position in case we get a yellow. Not going to play nice with Ted Musgrave, apparently. Halfway out of gas, lap 120. So I went 41 laps. So another 41 from here would be 6 laps short. So we're definitely not going to make it. We saved a little bit. Saved about 4 laps so far, but yeah, we're 4 out of the 8 to, well, if we were 8 laps short, then we only saved about 2, but I'm thinking we were more 10 laps short, so we saved about 4 laps, essentially. We're going to go as long as we can. Obviously, I don't want a short pit, but we'll see what this will bring. Trying to get Hornaday up the bottom. We passed him once earlier when he got really loose and hit the wall. Nice run that time. Finally, Musgrave under Hornaday. Hornaday not giving Musgrave a lot of room. Into turns 3 and 4. The 9 truck getting held very tightly to the bottom. Still side by side for the lead off the exit of the corner. And the side draft is on, but Hornaday gets the drive off and again is able to hold on to the lead. Big drive off into the corner. Trying to intimidate him at this point. I mean, this is getting a little bit frustrating that we're faster than them. We were saving, and then we know we're well short. Kind of a little bit off the bottom again. That might have been enough to make the pass that time. Musgrave slings it. Clear. Off turn 2. It's definitely going to be a splash and go, though, when we pit. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like a quarter tank of gas. As minimal of a splash and go as possible. Now, we're going to block him the same way he was blocking me. It's only fair. I mean, he made contact with me like 3 times. Short pit with the fresh tires. Nah, I'm just going to go fuel only. I mean, we're only 6 laps short. It'd be different if we were like a half a run short, but I think I'll gain more time going splash and go, because the AI usually takes 4 tires every time they have to pit under green, so Hopefully we just get a caution and everybody pits for 4 then. The later the caution comes out, the less time we're going to have to drive through the field, though, if not everybody pits, because some guys are going to be good to the end. I wonder if the guys that are good to the end, if they're just going to stay out and keep the track position. Here's that 153 truck. He was the one that went the furthest on fuel. He went 87 laps that first run. And now he's the last truck on the lead lap. We go fuel only, we might actually stay in front of him. We might get a top 10 finish, honestly, just by staying green this whole time and lapping so many trucks, because if we go splash and go, we're still going to stay on the lead lap. Like, I'm not going to lose a lap to Hornaday. So if for some odd reason we were to get a caution after I pitted, you know, in the final couple laps, I think we'd at least still be on the lead lap. Yeah, I'm definitely not taking tires. It's definitely fuel only if I have to pit under green. If we get a caution, I'm pitting for tires, but under green, I think I'm going to gain way more time. Fuel only. I missed that corner so badly. So did Lagacy. Lagacy got up against the wall, too. I clipped the apron right in the middle of the corner, and it shoved immediately, as it should. And there's Chapman, rival that we haven't seen at all today, qualified ahead of him. And he's probably going to take a swing at us. Whoa, boy! Hornaday getting a little loose. Tried to intimidate him, and we ran into him. Chapman is going to try to block us right in the middle of the corner. And Musgrave's not having it. 38 laps to go. Big run by Musgrave to the inside of the 9. Drives it in really deep. Maybe leans on that 33 a bit. It's getting aggressive in front of the field. Hornaday's not giving up a lot of bottom. And Musgrave is clear again. Contact behind. Musgrave got into the 190 of Chapman. Short pitting's the best bet. I really don't think it is. Well, I see what you're saying. Short pitting for fuel only. The problem is if I short pit and take tires, then it's not going to matter. I don't think short pitting's a good idea. Because if a caution comes out, I'm going to pit for tires. We don't... The sad state of things, we don't know how many trucks are going to pit if we got a caution. All the trucks that could be short, they might pit for tires. If they do, then I'm still behind everybody going into that pit stop. Versus at least this way, I would be at the front of the field. So if everybody were to come down for tires, we'd have a chance of at least still being at the front of the field. If you see what I'm saying. Because the only way I'm staying on the lead lap is if I go fuel only. If we were to get a yellow. Because Hornaday's more than likely going to make it to the finish. Oh my gosh, I was looking at the chat. Oh, well, he got loose too. I ended up in the wall. Got him a little loose at the arrow side of things. A little contact now. Stalled out. More contact. More. That's not good. That's not the way we wanted to do things. Oh my gosh. He's going to be upset with me, and he has every right to be upset. That was some sloppy drive in that lab, let me tell you. That was not one of my finest moments. No caution. We were so far ahead of everybody else. We're still first and second. A couple trucks got back on the lead lap to the inside of that mess. And now we got to get away from him from real, because he might try to wreck us next time he gets to us now. It all started when I hit the wall getting into the corner, and then he got loose, and then I got underneath him, and then we were running tight, and then I pushed tight, and I didn't lift. Get away from Ron Hornaday. I mean, if that wasn't a caution, I don't know what it's going to take to get a yellow. I lost a lot of track time doing that, too. That's not good. Because those trucks that we had a lap down, if any of them make it, I might not get back in front of them if I go fuel only now. That was not good. That probably cost me a couple spots if it stays green to the end. I wasn't trying to do that, clearly. I don't know why you would try to do that. But there was things I could have done that I could have easily avoided that. 31.2 flat, fastest of the race that last time. Trying to get by Eric Darnell. Darnell not giving up a lot of room either. Oh my gosh. Why is he running so low off the exit of the corner? Well, contact there. I was expecting him to go up at least a little higher on corner exit. And that contact allows for Hornaday to get a run. Now he's underneath the 99. He is closing on Ted Musgrave. 30 laps to go. Don't let him get to us. Now we got a cat and mouse game here. I'm not liking the situation we're in. We need a caution. 30 to go. We're running out of time to get a yellow. I can't be the cause of it either. Otherwise, I technically can't pit for fuel or tires, so I would be at even more of a disadvantage if I caused the caution. Per my rules. It teaches me to drive clean, so we don't have more control of an actual race, I guess, if you would. We can't manipulate it in any way. Eric Darnell's got speed all of a sudden. Where was the speed before? As he puts a fight to Hornaday and Musgrave, and he's been underneath this 9 truck of Musgrave for the lead for some time. That's allowing Hornaday to close in. Hornaday all over the back bumper of the 9 truck. Big slide job by the 99 of Eric Darnell. 3 wide off the exit of turn 2. Oh man, he's a rival. Don't hit us. Now when we're 3. Still 3. Into turn 3. Hornaday clear. And we thought it was hard to pass him before. It's going to be even harder to pass him now. Musgrave backs up the corner entry. Gets to the inside of Hornaday. Side by side, a little contact. Now he's even more upset. He crowded me there, though. He did the same thing Eric Darnell did a few laps ago. Where we get up off the exit of turn 2 and he doesn't even run halfway up the asphalt. Like, how am I going to make that corner? I'm not lifting at that point. Now, oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I'm letting him go. I'm letting him go. He wanted to hit me. I didn't want him wrecking me. I was on the outside there. That was not gonna be very good for me. Holy hellacia. It's turned into an interesting one here at Kansas today. 25 laps to go. Hornaday, Musgrave continue to trade paint. This is not a safe track to do this on. This is not a short track. I already have a little unsteadiness on older tires as it is. I didn't want to run into him like that. I did. I'm trying to intimidate him at this point. Get the clear pathway to try to get around him, if possible. The harder we run him, more of a chance he runs out of gas. That was a big hit. Musgrave loose. That kept them side by side. Into turn 3. Door to door. 9 sliding up. Clear. And Hornaday bounces off the wall. 22 laps left at Kansas. Edge of the fuel run for the 9 at least. I don't think we're going to be running away from him. Hornaday's running hard. Both of these trucks are running hard. Maybe too hard at times, but they're running hard. Speaking of too hard, Hornaday hits the wall off turn 4 again. He got tight. I think he's pushing it, trying to get to my back bumper. I think that's what he's trying to do. He's nailed the wall twice off turn 4, back-to-back laps. He's trying to get to my back bumper. To carry so much extra mid-corner speed than I want to, just trying to make sure he doesn't turn us. $20 laps to go. A block to the outside. And there was contact there. That was not a clean block. That was a Joey Logano and Matt Kenseth block from 2015. That was almost similar. The only difference is he didn't get in the wall, I guess. That's like the same area of the racetrack, same track. Maybe a little bit more laps to go. I think he got tight again. I don't know if he hit the wall that time, though. 19 laps left. Will we get a caution in these final 20? During the midst of all that contact we were making with each other, I was just thinking of DW in my head from that 2003 Darlington race. Like, these cars are driving terrible right now. Nah, they're driving good. Oh, God. Side by side again. A clean pass, though, by Hornaday. He did not try to hit the 9. And he does get around. Off turn 4, Hornaday back out in front, 17 laps to go at the Kansas Speedway. Oh, and he crowds the 9, a lot of contact. Hornaday initiates it with the block attempt that was not clean. Nothing's been clean these last, like, 15 laps between these two. If it's not me, it's him. It's a little tap off turn 4. Just kind of pushed him out ahead of us a little more. 16 to go. And another block all the way down to the white line to try to make the corner. Towards the outside. Again, Hornaday got a little loose. Here's Musgrave to the bottom to try to make the pass into turn 3. Little bit of an intimidation, just enough to take the lead again. All clear. Hornaday bounces off the wall off turn 4. Maybe he hits the wall enough times to get a cut a right side tire, and then he won't make it on fuel. Oh, he sailed it off into the corner. I didn't think I gave him much room. He was on the white line getting into 1 and 2. Musgrave's a little loose on that outside. And now Musgrave trying to pinch the 33 off. Contact again. And he still gets to the lead. Big slide by both trucks. We're losing so much time racing like this. Eric Darnell's catching back up to us again. It's not even on the lead lap. We're going to have to pit soon. I probably burned more fuel in the second half of this run by far than the first half. Can we get a caution, please? Preferably before I pit. $13 to go. And a run into turn one. Side by side. I might actually pass him clean this time. I haven't cleared him yet. Hold that thought for a second. Went side by side for a full lap. No, I couldn't pass him clean. Oh. Yeah, it's definitely not going to be clean because I made the contact to stay side by side again. That was more than a side draft. That was a side scrape. Oh, I wanted to clear. We're going to have to pit, like, soon. I'm going to go one more lap, and we're going to have to pit. Clear. 11 to go. Perfect time for a caution would be right now. Musgrave will pit for fuel only. This time by. Yeah, I'm doing a half a can. It's going to be splash and go for sure. Man, I hate to have to pit, but I mean, we have to. Oh, we got smoke. No caution. We're going to slide it into the pits too, trying to get as much as I could. Did the same thing the AI was doing. No adjustments here. Half a can of gas. That's it. Splash and go. No tires. Oh, little hiccup there. Should stay on the lead lap. The hiccup cost us a little time, but hopefully it wasn't really a position at the very least. Yeah, we got to go up. I got to block everybody that's coming. We are still in the lead lap. Top 10, too. Oh, we got somebody blowing up. I thought that was Hornaday for a second. It was a white truck, but Hornaday's still leading. Hopefully that truck stalls out and we get a caution. Oh, we got... Somebody ran out of gas. Somebody's out of gas. I think the truck on the back stretch was out of gas, and somebody ran out in the middle of 3 and 4 and just nosed it into the... We needed it at Michigan, so... Hope that I put enough in it. Wait, see, I mean, we haven't gotten a caution for these trucks running out of gas, though. That's the problem. Does Hornaday have enough to make it? We got 7 trucks ahead of Musgrave. And as where Hornaday's on track right now, he's got 7 laps to go to try to win this race. I was really hoping we'd get a caution for that guy running out of gas, either one of them. But we didn't get it. And we stay green. There's one truck up here that Musgrave's trying to catch. I don't know if it's going to be for position or not, but we're trying to catch just in case it is a spot. It's one less driver that would have to pit here before the finish. I'm just watching Hornaday on that track map every lap. Just see if he's slow. We've seen some cars, trucks I should say, run out and not make it back into the pits. Will more do the same? Where's Bo Phillips going to end up in all this? We haven't seen him all night. Musgrave's ran top 3 the whole race, qualified 5th. I don't think we spent a lap outside the... Well, I guess I dropped a 8th on the first lap, but... 31.158, fastest lap that last time by. My laptop battery is very low. I really hope I don't lose the stream over these last 5 laps. If we lose the stream in the post-race, it's going to be the end. But, hopefully my 8% battery life is enough to make it to the finish here. We got trucks low on gas. My laptop's low on battery. Big squeeze to the bottom. Somehow got it to stick on the white line through 3 and 4. Musgrave an aggressive side draft, trying to stay door-to-door with another rival. A little loose in the tri-oval and couldn't hang on. I don't know, again, if this is for position or not with Chris Parker, but if it is a spot, this could be for 7th. Hornaday still on the track with 3 laps to go, meanwhile. Scrape of the wall on the backstretch for Musgrave. Still carries decent mid-corner speed. Going to get back underneath Parker again. And no, Parker is a lap down. Parker is a lap down. He's not on the lead lap. In contact with Parker again. Two to go for Hornaday. Last chance to get a caution. Who would have thought? The one race we can't make it on fuel compared to other trucks is the one race we go caution-free this season. Go figure. That's my luck. It's going to be 6 races in a row we haven't won in the truck series. Like, this is just weird. Like, this just feels weird. What's even weirder is I'm still leading in points. Well, at least this time it's a top 10. A couple other trucks were catching still. I don't know if they're a lap down or not. Might find out. Gonna have one more lap. Hornaday still at speed. He's on his final lap, and this could be the first non-fantasy driver to win other than Ted Musgrave this season. Hornaday will be the 6th different winner as he is off turn 4 and wins the O'Reilly Auto Parts 250. Big run here for Musgrave on the final lap. Giving a push to the truck in front of him off turn 2. Not sure if there's any positions out of this. That was a lap truck. Big run to the inside into 3 and 4. That's for position. So he did run down and catch the 7th place truck to the checker here. So 7th place finish for Ted Musgrave. I'll take it. I mean, it sucks we couldn't make it on fuel. It is what it is. Bo Phillips finishes 2nd, so he gains even more. Phillips has won 5 races, and now he finishes 2nd tonight. We didn't see him the whole race, but sure enough, he made it on fuel and finishes 2nd. Yeah, go figure. We outran him the whole day. Good thing I led laps. Got 5 bonus points. Hornaday dominated, though. I mean, he deserved to win. 96 laps led, gets the win. Even when I wasn't saving that first run, it seemed like he was a little quicker. But, yeah, Bo Phillips 2nd, started 9th. Hornaday started 2nd, finished 1st. 96 laps led, 24 lead changes. There's quite a few between Hornaday and Musgrave. Most of them were that. But, yeah, Phillips 2nd, Bill Lester 3rd, Bobby Hamilton Sr. 4th, Art Clausen 5th, Art Stewart 6th. Our driver Ted Musgrave led 33 laps, finished 7th. Jay Thomas started on pole, led 33 laps, finished 8th. W. Tucker 9th. C. Vance rounds out the top 10 in 10th. Our teammate Todd Bodine finished a lap down at 17th. And overall, we only had 11 trucks finish on the lead lap here today. Had quite a few DNFs. A couple of them ran out of gas at the end. I'm surprised more trucks didn't pit late. There were only 2 trucks that ran out of gas at the end. We had Tingen DNF, Carswell, Jackson, Chapman. That's what he gets. Trying to wreck me earlier. T-Bell. 5 DNFs total. And Chapman and Bell would have been the 2 that ran out of gas in the final 10. 169.53 mile per hour average race speed. 3.8 second margin of victory for Hornaday. Again, 24 lead changes. No cautions. First caution-free race of the season. 169.53 mile per hour average race speed. Hour 28 minutes, 39 seconds. We'll be Busch Series racing at Richmond tomorrow night on the channel. 6 p.m. Eastern start time. And that'll be our last NASCAR 07 stream of the week, because then after that, we got Bristol Truck Race Thursday night for live commentary. Next race, 197 laps, Tropical Oasis 200 at the Allstate Speedway. So this is named the Allstate Speedway just for not copyright reasons, I guess. But EA kept it in the games in the later editions of their EA run. So it's basically Rockingham for the next race. And again, we haven't won on an intermediate track all season. We'll try it again. Even tonight. Tonight was my best chance to win an intermediate. We led 33 laps. I think that's more laps. I don't think I led double-digit laps on an intermediate track all year. This was the only one that actually had race-winning speed. And I didn't have the fuel mileage, unfortunately. Like, if it's not the speed, then we don't have the fuel pickup. This is really the first fuel mileage race of the Truck Series season, though. So most of these races are easy one-stop or easy two-stops because they're so short. But for whatever reason, tonight it was right on the money, and we never got a caution that even the playing field. So a couple guys ran out. Unfortunately, we were one that wasn't going to make it. Harley gets trimmed down even more. We lost 19 points to Bo Phillips. He's now just 115 points back. And again, he missed a race. If he didn't miss a race, he would probably be over 50 points ahead of us right now. So I'm glad he missed a race. It gives us a better chance at the championship because, again, these intermediate tracks have not been good for us. And we still got to go to Vegas. We got Rockingham next. We got Homestead on the schedule. Another trip to Texas. I'm probably forgetting some others. We might go back to California again. I'm not entirely sure on that. Yeah, we've got more intermediate tracks left though, so we might have another trip to Charlotte. I'm not entirely sure on that. We might. It's just hard to remember like how many of the Truck Series tracks we go to more than once because I know there's not many. Texas, I know for a fact we definitely go to again, and then Homestead, obviously we haven't been. That ends the season. Rockingham next race, so Vegas we haven't been to yet. So there's at least 4 more intermediate tracks. Super Speedway Talladega is going to be tough because Daytona did not have a fast truck and finished 30th, so that's going to be tough. So we got 5 races that I know for a fact are going to be tough for us in the last 12, which is almost half the races we have left. And there might even be more intermediate tracks I'm missing. There very well could be. So got to capitalize when we go back to Bristol. Actually, I haven't even raced at Bristol yet this season.